Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Rotary Club of Merrimack TV show. Today we have a full show for you called Rotary in the Community. We're going to discuss all of the things that Rotary does throughout Merrimack throughout the year and where the funds from all the fundraising goes. I'm Maureen Mooney, a longtime resident of Merrimack and a member of the Rotary Club of Merrimack, and I'm with today someone very special who knows a lot about Rotary, and that is Ed Hilston, the current president of our Merrimack Rotary Club. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you very much, Maureen. It's nice to be here today.
It's great to have you back. I know you've been on the show before, and we have a full special for our viewers today.
We sure do.
Photos included.
Yes.
So before we begin, why don't we just talk a little bit in general, an overview of Rotary International and how that connects to the Merrimack Rotary Club.
Sure. Thank you, Maureen. So Rotary International is an organization that has many local chapters, and Merrimack is fortunately one of those. And Rotary Club's motto is service above self. And we take that to heart. We want to really help people, help other places in the community whenever we can. And people that may be interested in Rotary, joining Rotary, the only real requirements is somebody who is interested in our motto, first off, but also somebody who either lives or works right here in Merrimack.
Wow. Merrimack really is so fortunate to have a Rotary Club here in the community. These clubs are not in every community, and yet here we have really a group of dedicated citizens, residents, or those who work in Merrimack who are willing to put the time and effort in to host fundraisers, raise the funds, and then distribute them, which will go through.
Right.
So let's start, Ed, with where money from Rotary comes from. Sure. And we'll show some photos and talk about some events that will be very familiar to our viewers who live in Merrimack or drive through Merrimack and see what's advertised regarding these events. So one of the first photos we're going to take a look at is a banner. And this banner is often seen at Turkey Trot Road Race or also our Christmas tree sales. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this photo?
Sure, thank you. So yeah, we run different events, but where the money really comes from for all of these events are our community sponsors, the businesses within the community, and then the individuals that participate in the events. So we really want to thank those businesses and individuals who come to our different events and give of their time and their money to help us raise money for these events. So it's really important that to us that the businesses and the people in the community have supported us through the years. And just a big thank you to all the businesses and community people, residents, etc., who have supported our events in the past.
Absolutely. And it's so nice that they're recognized on the banner and on the event websites as these events are hosted in town. So one big signature fundraiser of the Merrimack Rotary Club is the Turkey Trot, which takes place on Thanksgiving morning. I think we'll have a photo soon about some runners at the start mark. So why don't you tell us about the Turkey Trot?
So yes, thank you, Maureen. Turkey Trot, Thanksgiving morning, probably the biggest 5K event day of the year is Thanksgiving morning, and it's a great event. The community really supports that event, as do plenty of our businesses that helps support that. But we have typically 300 runners that come in Thanksgiving morning, all suited up. Some come in costume. We've had veterans come in full Army gear running the event. And we usually start that bright and early, 8 o'clock, and we're ready to go. And people can come in and run with their families on that event. And we're all wrapped up by 10 o'clock. So you can go home knowing that you already ran off your Thanksgiving meal.
Oh, that's great. And we have also runners from all over the country because as they visit their relatives and loved ones in town.
It's a homecoming.
That's right. They can register online and there they are. Great event. All right, next is another event that the Merrimack Rotary Club hosts, which made its debut last year, and that is the Electronics Recycling Fundraiser. Tell us about that.
So yes, that was something we started last fall, and then we decided to make it a spring cleaning event, so make it more in the springtime. So look for that again next spring. We'll be doing that. So that's an opportunity for people that have had old computers, old VCRs, old anything in your house that's electronic, to come and bring that. There's a modest fee for that so that we can raise some funds for it, but it's also a nice time for people to just drop off some stuff that's been taking up space in their homes.
Oh, it feels very rewarding to pull up with a car full of electronics that don't work anymore or are no longer working or no longer of service, and dropping them off for a great cause. And we have a picture of many of the, for example, computers that are dropped off, and just how many there are. It's a very successful...
printers, modems, you name it.
Very successful event. And then a great picture of the group of us who helped out. We also had some students from Interact Club here in our high school, some students from the Academy for Science and Design who helped us tremendously.
Yeah, the students have really been a big help.
Yes.
They make the job so much easier, and they seem to enjoy it as well.
Right. Now, that electronics fundraiser and the turkey trot, those are one-day fundraisers. But then we get into Christmas tree sales, which span almost the entire month of December. Let's hear about that.
So yeah, Christmas tree sales is probably one of our more well-known fundraising events. That's an event where everybody in the club participates.
Yes.
And like you said, there's multiple days. You know, we're out there almost every day of the week, especially during the weekends, selling Christmas trees. And it's one of our more popular events. We seem to get the same people year after year that come and buy a Christmas tree from us. And we really appreciate that.
So true. People almost rely on the turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning and rely on getting their Christmas tree from us in December.
Yeah, it's a great event.
It is, and raises a lot of money for the community. All right, let's next get into 4th of July, where we have pancake breakfast in the morning, followed by typically the Independence Day family celebration. How about both of those?
Sure. Pancake breakfast is great. We just had that this year, not that long ago. And it was great to just see everybody come back from that. We had to take a break from that, unfortunately, due to COVID. But it was great to see everybody come back to that. It seemed like people really enjoyed it. We enjoy getting up bright and early, making the pancakes, getting things ready for everybody. And it's just great to see, especially the kids come and enjoy everything.
So true. And again, all of these events require Rotarians to put so much planning into it, and then on the date of the event, putting in time that way. So how fortunate we are to have a club here in town.
Right.
All right, that is where the money comes from. Now we're going to switch a bit, and this section of the show is going to be where then the money goes. From donors, from our patrons, from Family Fun Day, Pancake Breakfast, Christmas trees, Turkey Trot, Electronic Fundraiser, where does the money go?
Yes, so we're fortunate that, as I said, people, businesses, commit some money to these projects that we have, these fundraisers, but it empowers us to be able to help out the community. So one of the main places it goes is scholarships to our high school students. And then every year in the wintertime, we give out some coats for kids that are needy in town through the welfare department. They point us in the right direction, and we supply a number of different coats for them. And then we do some international projects. We'll discuss those more in a little bit, and as well as many community service issues, projects that we do, and we help with the Scouts, the boys and girls around the state.
This is great, and this is very exciting because we really now get to see where these go, and we're going to go through all that you just mentioned, item by item, with some photos too online so that we can go through them. So let's start with scholarships. Now, this is a separate 501c3, as I understand it, from the Rotary Club of Merrimack. and let's hear more about that.
Sure. So, yes, we set up a separate 501c3 to kind of separate that from the club itself. So we typically give out, about 6 or so scholarships a year. And there's a separate scholarship committee that takes applications. They're blind to who they're coming from. They evaluate those applications and then determine who's worthy individuals for that. So they're usually around $1,500 to $7,500 scholarships.
Wow.
So they're sizable, but not, we try to do what we can. And each year they're a little different in size depending on how much money we raise at our different events. Of course, the more money we raise, the more money that can be given out. So the separate 501c3 has an endowment that was money's been given to that endowment, so they can contribute money from the endowment plus funds that are raised through our various fundraising activities.
Wow, this is great. And I remember when I was president of the club, getting letters from previous scholarship recipients,
Right.
giving us an update of what they were doing, what they were studying, and how grateful they were for the scholarships. So this is so needed in the community, and it's a great service Rotary can provide. Now, what is the criteria if a student were interested? I know the student has to be a Merrimack resident, but what are the other criterias to be eligible for a scholarship, and where would that student go?
Well, the student would go to the website that we have set up for that, and that's the merrimackscholarships.com. And they would be able to look right through there to see what the criteria is, what the different scholarships are. The main thing is being a student of Merrimack resident. Doesn't matter where you're going to school, as long as you're a Merrimack resident and a student there, that's your first step.
Excellent. So a student in Merrimack going to merrimackscholarships.com. And I think one of the photos we have is the logo of the scholarship
Right.
committee that you would see on merrimackscholarships.com right when you log in.
The website just walks you right through the whole process too.
Yeah.
So it's very well set up.
And how great for any student who's a resident of Merrimack, whether homeschooled or in our public schools here in town or a charter school.
schools, yep.
Oh, this is great. All right, we're going to move next to Coats for Kids. You mentioned that earlier.
Oh, yes, that's a great thing. Every winter, we're able to help some kids out in the community. So Pat Murphy at the Welfare Department does such a great job informing us of what's the need in the community.
Yes.
So we typically will supply 15 to 30 coats
Wow. Okay.
each year. It varies from year to year where the needs are, but she's great. She does a great job of informing us of where the needs are, and then we use the money that's raised through our fundraisers to help out with the kids. Everyone, when you're a kid, you're growing like crazy. Last year coat doesn't work for this year,
Yes.
so you need a new one.
Absolutely. And how good it is for Rotary to have a relationship with Pat Murphy at the Welfare Department.
It is great. It really is.
She's so well versed in who needs what and where there is a need,
Right.
and how great that Rotary can fulfill that need. Coats for Kids is big, and it's almost time for that. Here, this is being
Yeah, we'll
recorded
be
in
coming
August.
up sooner than later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Just fantastic. All right, we're going to move to a pretty broad topic,
this
and
one's
that
a
is
big one. Yep.
international. So
Yes.
let's hear a little bit about that.
Sure. So we've participated in numerous international projects. One of which is we have one working recently with the Hollis Brookline project, working with dams in India
Yes.
so that they can, during the rainy season, if
Right.
you don't secure the water, then it's gone.
Isn't that something?
So it's time so they can create these dams, secure some water for future irrigation needs.
Yes, that was so fascinating when the presenter, because of course we have a guest speaker every week, came to our club and presented this. And the club was so eager to help out and provide clean water, as we know it's so important here in our community and also in other countries.
One of the things that's really nice to see too is we can put some of these monies that we're raised out there, but often when we have a project similar to this, what we'll put out to our fellow Rotarians is a matching program.
Oh.
Where we'll say, okay, we're going to commit this much from our fundraising effort, and if the Rotarians feel that this is really important, then they can go ahead and dip into their own pockets and say, okay, we're going to donate some of our own money personally,
Yeah.
and the club will say, we'll match some of that money.
So
we'll put
generous.
a cap on it, but we'll match it so that they can really have some real money going forward to that project. And we have something known as our foundation, which can also match money as well. So that's done through our district level. So we can get a lot of money going to these projects without a whole lot of money from the fundraising events.
Amazing generosity when there's a need, that's for
Right.
sure. We're going to move on now to Scouts of America.
Sure.
There's a connection there between the Rotary Club of Merrimack and Scouts of America.
There sure is.
So let's hear more about that.
Sure. So we have Daniel Webster Council and the Green and White Mountains Council, and each year they award awards for the Scouts, the Eagle Project, and the Gold Awards for the
Yes.
young ladies. And we're fortunate enough as to be the club in these two councils that give awards and have an awards dinner for the Scouts each year.
Wow.
So it's really nice that Merrimack has taken on that role as a Rotary Club.
Exactly, to recognize all the hard work that these young individuals put in to their Gold Award or their Eagle projects.
And you get to see some of the neat things that the Eagle Scouts do. If you visit Watson Park, there's a nice dodgeball thing. I think it's called Go-Go Ball or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a dodgeball corral that's down there, and that's part of an Eagle Scout project that was just done in town.
Sure, it really does benefit the residents of Merrimack for sure.
It sure does.
All right, community service projects is next. And this is where we get into multiple things that Rotarians do. We're going to start with Adopt a Road.
Sure.
And as I understand it, there's a picture on
Of
the
the
screen
two of us.
of the two of us, of
Right.
all things, from a few
Right.
years back. But there we are, picking up trash and litter that unfortunately accumulates on our roads.
Yes, we do that twice a year, once
Okay.
in the spring, and then before the leaves fall and cover up all that stuff.
Yes.
So we go out, we do that with the Department of Public Works. We've adopted a few mile stretch on Babusick Lake Road, and we get together as a club on a Saturday morning.
Right.
And we just disperse along that 2 mile stretch and pick up trash.
Yeah.
And it only takes a couple of hours, but we keep that stretch clean.
Yes. Oh, so important for our community. And it brings community within our club, too, because we
It
all
does.
like being together no matter what we're
It does.
doing. All right, we're going to go to lighting at Reed's Ferry Field.
Yes,
So we have a couple photos with regards to that.
We do. And this was a need that was brought to us that kids like to play after hours sometime under the lights. And it just makes it kind of special when you're there and it's a lit field. You feel like you're doing something out of the ordinary. So it was brought to our attention that Reed's Ferry has a field there with soccer and lacrosse, and that lighting that field would be kind of fun.
Yes.
And that was a project that we did quite a while ago. I think it was like 2005.
Okay,
So it's been quite a while,
but still going strong.
still going strong.
Excellent. We contribute to the food pantries in our town, so very local here, and we've been doing that for a
Yeah.
few years now.
Yep, that's another one where our Rotarians reach into their own pocket, but we also have funds from our fundraisers
Yes.
that support our food pantries. And so many people in town benefit from that.
So important. A famous feature in Merrimack is Kids Cove Playground.
Yes.
And we have a couple photos of that because it was revitalized a couple of years
Right.
back.
Right. So we built that as a club, and it's probably what we're probably most known for as far as taken on as a project. And then, as you said, we redid the whole thing.
Yes.
And we keep a close eye on it. Some of our members go through, do a walkthrough every spring and see what's needed. Hey, is there a nail sticking out here, a screw sticking out over
Right.
there? What's needed? Is there, some wood that needs to be planed down, sanded down so that people aren't getting hurt?
Yeah.
But we really take pride in that.
Oh, it's so important, and it looks great.
It does. And it is so well utilized in town.
Definitely.
You go anytime when the weather's nice, and there's kids running all over that place.
Oh, indeed. You go a little bit down the street, and you'll go to Watson Park, where the Roger Duhamel Pavilion's located.
Yeah, that's a great little place, and it looks so nice. Just last summer, we went over there, and we just said, hey, is there anything needed here? And we resealed all the wood on that.
Okay.
And it was nice to do. We recently had our board meeting outside right there last Wednesday evening.
Nice.
And it was nice to just, after the heat wave, there was a break, and we said, let's get together outside. And it's a nice meeting area. It's available for rent too. You can contact Matt Kasparius at Parks and Recs, and there's people that rent the place for baby showers, etc. It's just a nice little gathering area.
Isn't that nice? And again, a connection to Rotary. It's amazing in this discussion to see all those connections. Yep. Then we're going to go across the street to the steps of the Abbey Griffin Park.
Yeah, Abbey Griffin Park's a nice little bandstand. Wednesday nights during the summertime, there's concerts. We have concerts during, the tree lighting.
Right.
Yeah. And we wanted to do something to make that a little more visible. So there's a nice steps area that comes up from the road itself right up there. And it's just a nice little thing to accent that park.
Oh, for sure. And we have a nice photo of it in this program. Right. Scott Mortimer, who does our website, provided that photo.
He does a great job.
Looks great.
He does a great job.
All right. Now, this is a recent project. How about painting the sound and sound panel installation over at the function hall at Wasserman Park?
Yes, Maureen, that was a great project. And it took a while to get completed, but we worked on it. So we contacted Matt Kasparius over at Parks and Rec and just said, what's really needed? And he pointed us to the function hall that's over there at Wasserman Park. It's a great little hall, but the problem with that hall was two phased.
Definitely.
One was it just looked old and needed a facelift.
Yes.
You walked in there and it was that green camp look to it.
Right.
And that facility gets rented out too for bridal showers, baby showers, all kinds of different things. So we gave it a bit of a facelift before we went in and did some sound panel installation. The room was really, really loud. You would have 3 people in that room talking, and it was tough to even hear anything because it was just bouncing all over the place, the sound.
Yes. I remember the before and after because Rotary had some weekly meetings there, and the difference was incredible. So to think that these subtle panels on the ceiling are a Rotary operation is amazing.
Just imagine what day camp is like over there with all the kids in there and how loud that room was beforehand. Amazing. And it really made a huge difference in the sound, and it makes it so much more usable for the town. And it brings money in for, people can rent it. There's some money generation there going on for Parks and Rec as well.
Absolutely. Always a well-needed project.
Yes.
We're going to switch now to a couple signature events that the Merrimack Rotary Club has.
Yes.
One is called Top 10 Scholars, and the other one, Excellence in the Workplace. We have a picture of both from this past year. Right. Your thoughts on those?
So Top 10 Scholars is always such a fun event. Every year, Merrimack High School puts out the list of their top 10 students for the year. And they get an opportunity to come in with their families to an evening event that we put on at the John O'Leary Center. And the parents and the kids have such a nice time there. We get to hear from each kid about what they really remember going through Merrimack High School.
Right.
What students what fellow students, the relationships that they built with the students, and who was their favorite teacher. We hear that every year. And where are they going to go to study? What are they going to do after high school?
Oh, it's a great event.
It is a great event. And each year, these kids really do a great job.
Definitely. And then excellence in the workplace is to recognize those who work in our community, and anyone in the community can nominate someone for this recognition.
Yeah, it's a great event. Each year we have a wide range of different workers throughout the community that are recognized, and some of them are recognized by Rotarians, but most of them are just recognized by other people in the community that just say they go into a store, they go into a different service service place in the community, your local grocery store, your local restaurant, your local mechanic.
Right.
Somebody's done a great job.
Yes.
Somebody's stepped up and done something extra special for you, and it could be a little thing that makes all the difference. And it's an opportunity to recognize these people.
And that event is aired on Merrimack TV, so if our viewers are interested, they can see that. You know, speaking of our viewers, we're so grateful that everyone's tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about Merrimack Rotary, we have a website, merrimackrotary.com.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page, which if you search in the bar for Merrimack Rotary Facebook page, you'll find it. And it's kept very frequently. It's kept up, I should say, and it's always interesting as what's coming up or what guest speakers we've had. We meet every Thursday, Thursday morning, 7:15 at the O'Leary Center. And if anybody were interested in visiting or being a guest speaker to tell us about what they're interested in or what organization they may belong to, that's a possibility, isn't it? It
sure is. Probably the best way is to go on our Facebook page and just search for Rotary Club of Merrimack.
Oh, that's great.
And you'll find us and just send us a message if you're interested in sharing what you do. Some of we have a whole bunch of people that are trying to help the community out, and it's a great opportunity to learn more about that.
Yes.
But some of my favorite speakers are speakers that just come in and share their passion. What's their hobby? What do they like doing with their free time?
Yeah, so interesting.
It is.
This has been great. Well, Ed, thank you so much. We covered so much.
We
this
sure
was
did.
So informative. One of my favorites here, going through all of these events and just how much the Merrimack Rotary Club does for the Merrimack community. So thank you for all of your involvement and your review of all these great events, fundraisers, and where the funds go.
Thank you so much, Maureen. And again, thank you to all the businesses in town, all the residents who come and support all our fundraising events. And hopefully now you can see how we use some of the proceeds from these things to support different things throughout the community and around the world as well.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for watching.